take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Allow your body to soften wherever you are resting. Feel the weight of the day gently fall away, as though it is being melted down like iron in a forge, reshaped into calm, steady stillness. With each breath, you are more at ease. Notice how your shoulders relax, how your arms feel heavy and supported. Notice the rhythm of your breathing, slow, quiet, steady. Let the world outside grow distant, as though the only sounds that matter now are the soft whispers of my voice guiding you toward rest. And now, our story today begins at the edge of a village, where the last light of dusk paints the sky in hues of violet and amber. The air is cool, carrying the faint sense of wood smoke and tilled earth. Somewhere nearby, a forge glows warmly, its fire alive, crackling with energy. This is the blacksmith's place, a sanctuary of sparks and steady rhythms, where metal is shaped with patience and care. Step closer in your mind's eye. See the glowing ember bed at the heart of the forge, alive with red-orange light. The flames breathe like a living creature, sometimes swelling, sometimes quieting, but always holding steady warmth. The blacksmith stands nearby, strong yet calm, holding a length of glowing iron with sturdy tongs. There is a sound here, the ringing of hammer upon anvil. At first it is sharp, steady, echoing into the evening air. Clang, pause, clang, pause. Each strike purposeful, each strike shaping the glowing iron into form. With time, the rhythm begins to soften, as though the hammer itself is slowing into rest, just as you are. As the blacksmith works, the iron bends and reshapes beneath each strike. Sparks fly briefly, then fade into the air, tiny bursts of light against the darkening sky. You watch them flicker, floating upward until they vanish, just like stray thoughts in your mind, peering for a moment, then dissolving, leaving calm behind. Nearby, a horseshoe rests against the wall, already cooled and complete. Once, villagers believed that a horseshoe nailed above a doorway would bring good fortune, guarding home and hearth. Perhaps you imagine such a charm above your own resting space now. It's a silent token of safety and luck watching over you tonight. The rhythm of hammer and anvil continues steady, soothing like a heartbeat fading into the quiet of evening. Listen closely now. The hammering grows slower, softer, almost like a lullaby sung in metal and flame. Each strike echoes into the night, but the pauses between them lengthen, filling with silence, with calm. Clang. Then a breath of stillness. Clang. Then the gentle hush of the forge breathing. The rhythm soothes you, each sound carrying you deeper into rest. Our story today continues in the warmth of the smithy. The forge glows brightly, its heart alive with embers, shimmering like 1,000 tiny stars gathered close together. The air here is thick with the scent of smoke and heated iron, but it is not harsh, it is grounding, earthy, reassuring, like the smell of wood burning in a hearth on a cold night. The blacksmith sets aside the iron for a moment, allowing it to rest in the coals. You watch as the glow deepens, the metal softening, ready to be shaped again. This pause feels like an invitation for you to pause too, to allow your body to sink deeper into comfort, to let yourself soften, just like the iron in the fire. Outside, the village quiets. Sounds of day fade away, calls of merchants, the clatter of carts, the voices of children at play. All that remains is the hush of evening, the faint chirp of crickets, the whisper of a breeze moving through the trees, and the steady exhale of the forge. The blacksmith returns to the anvil, lifting the glowing bar once more. The hammer rises and falls. Clang. Soft sparks leap out, fading into darkness. Each spark feels like a fleeting thought, a worry or a memory, lifting out of you and vanishing into the night sky. You need not hold on to them. Let them drift, let them fade, just as the sparks do. Nearby, the village lane lies empty. A lantern swings gently outside the smithy door, its flame golden and steady. Its light falls across the ground in gentle circles, guiding the way home for those who might pass. But tonight, the streets are quiet. The forge is a place of calm, and you are here, sharing in its warmth, its rhythm, its peace. The hammering slows again, softer, quieter, until it becomes little more than a faint tap, like raindrops against stone. The forge hums, the embers breathe, and all around you the night grows still. The air is calm now, filled with the soft glow of firelight. The blacksmith lowers his hammer, setting it gently upon the worn wooden bench. The anvil, warm from the work, still carries a faint echo of sound, like a bell whose ring has faded but not disappeared. That lingering vibration hums softly in your imagination, easing you deeper into stillness. Our story today continues here, in the quiet forge at dusk, where the world outside has surrendered to night. Shadows stretch long across the walls, mingling with the glow of embers, creating a dance of light and dark. Each flicker of flame feels like a heartbeat in the forge's chest, steady and alive. The blacksmith takes a breath, wiping his brow, and gazes into the fire. There is patience in his eyes, for he knows the rhythm of his craft cannot be rushed. Iron teaches him the way how to yield when it softens, how to strike when it glows, how to wait when it cools. In this way, he lives in harmony with his work, just as you may find harmony now with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Calm, simple, steady. Beside the forge, rows of tools gleam faintly in the light. Hammers of different sizes, tongs, chisels, and files, all resting now after a day's labor. Their edges catch the glow, like stars scattered upon a dark horizon. You may imagine their soft presence, a reminder that even the hardest tools find rest. Even the busiest hands pause in quiet. The horseshoe upon the wall catches your eye again, smooth, curved, and simple. It holds within it the quiet hopes of those who believe in its luck. Hung above doors, it was thought to protect households, guarding against misfortune, inviting peace. Perhaps tonight, you imagine a horseshoe above your resting place. Its gentle curve cradling your dreams, keeping you safe as you drift into sleep. Outside, the breeze stirs. It carries with it the smell of cooling earth, mingling with the smoky warmth of the forge. Through the open door, you can hear the faint rustle of leaves and the distant lull of crickets. The village is sleeping, and the forge, too, is beginning to rest. The hammer rests. The fire breathes. And you, like the iron cooling slowly, are surrendering to stillness, shaping yourself into peace. The forge glows softly, no longer roaring, but murmuring like a quiet hearth. The flames have gentled, their light ebbing and flowing as the coals shift and sigh. Each flicker paints warm patterns upon the stone walls, moving like a slow dance, calming to watch, calming to feel. Our story today continues with the blacksmith leaning back, setting aside his tools, and allowing himself to breathe with the fire. His hands are strong, yet at this moment they rest upon his knees, open, unhurried. There is peace in his stillness. The forge, too, rests like a faithful companion at the end of a long day. The iron he shaped lies cooling upon the anvil, its glow fading gradually into the deep dark of night. It reminds you of how warmth remains even as brightness fades, how the embers of the day linger in your body, gently cooling now as you move towards sleep. You carry that same glowing presence, soft and steady, beneath the surface of your calm. The air outside is turned cooler. A gentle breeze drifts in through the doorway, carrying the fragrance of hay, earth, and the faint sweetness of wood smoke from distant chimneys. It touches your skin lightly, reminding you that the world outside is wide and still, resting alongside you. In the quiet, the blacksmith hums to himself a low, steady tune, almost lost in the hush of the forge. His voice blends with the crackling of the coals, creating a lullaby of fire and hum, of ember and breath. Each sound is soft, rhythmic, soothing, guiding you gently deeper into stillness. Take a slow breath in and let it flow out. Feel how your body grows heavier, like the iron now resting upon the anvil. Strong, steady, yet surrendered to the cool night. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced, just a gradual easing into peace. The village remains quiet. A single lantern outside the smithy door swings gently in the night air, its golden light pooling softly upon the ground. Beyond it, the sky is filled with stars, ancient, steady, watching over all who sleep. Their presence, like the horseshoe upon the wall, brings reassurance. A reminder that you are safe, that you are held, that fortune and peace guard your rest tonight. The blacksmith closes his eyes for a moment, listening only to the quiet ember breath of his forge. You too may close yours, letting the rhythm of fire and silence carry you towards sleep. The coals glow softly now, pulsing like the heart of the forge. Their light is no longer fierce but gentle, like a candle flame that refuses to fade. It bathes the blacksmith's workshop in a steady amber glow, filling every corner with warmth. Shadows lengthen, soften, and blend into the quiet of night. Our story today continues as the blacksmith reaches for a small broom, brushing ash and metal shavings into a neat pile. The sound is faint, almost like the whisper of sand sliding across stone. It carries no urgency, only the rhythm of winding down. Each stroke is deliberate, patient, soothing just as you may let your thoughts gather now. Setting them aside, neat and quiet, so that your mind may rest. He places the broom aside and lifts a bucket of water, pouring it gently over the forge's outer stones. Steam rises, curling upward in delicate white tendrils, drifting like mist through the air. It vanishes as quickly as it forms, leaving behind the faint, calming scent of damp stone. The sound of water meeting heat hisses softly, like a long sigh, like a release. The iron upon the anvil has cooled further. Its surface, once glowing with fire, is now dark and solid, shaped and complete. The blacksmith runs a hand over its edge, nodding quietly to himself, content with the day's work. There is no need for more. The forge has slowed into silence now, its fiery song replaced with the quiet crackle of faint embers that linger deep beneath the ash. The glow is steady, dim, a companion to the night rather than a challenger of it. Outside, the sky deepens into velvet, and the first stars appear above the rooftops. Our story today continues as the blacksmith steps outside his workshop. He leans against the wooden frame of the door, wiping his hands on a worn cloth. The night air greets him cool, soft, and carrying with it the faint perfume of hay and soil. From a distant field, crickets sing, their voices weaving a gentle backdrop, steady and soothing. He gazes upward for a long while, his chest rising and falling with slow, even breaths. Each inhale draws in the calmness of night, and each exhale releases the day's weight. You too may allow your breath to follow this rhythm. A slow inhale, letting stillness in, and a gentle exhale, letting tension drift away. On the wooden post by his doorway hangs a small horseshoe, its surface darkened by years, but still firm and strong. Tradition whispers that such shoes, placed above doors, bring luck and keep away misfortune. The blacksmith smiles faintly at it, knowing that sometimes belief itself carries a quiet power. Doesn't matter if luck is certain. What matters is the comfort of feeling protected, the reassurance of something familiar watching over the threshold. The village sleeps now, windows shuttered, fires low. Only the faint glow from the forge remains, a reminder of work completed, of tasks set down until morning. The blacksmith turns back inside, moving slowly, his steps steady, as though each one is an invitation to rest. Soon, the anvil will cool, the hammer will sleep, and the ember will fade into memory soft, gentle, unhurried. Like your thoughts tonight, drifting further away, leaving you lighter, calmer, ready to slip into the embrace of sleep. Inside the forge, shadows play across the walls. Tools hang neatly from their hooks, each one carrying the memory of countless strikes. Countless sparks, countless shapes born from fire. The blacksmith moves through the space with a kind of reverence, touching a hammer, here, adjusting a set of tea. The blacksmith steadies the iron against the anvil once more. With each strike, there is rhythm. Tap, pause, tap, tap. The sound is not rushed, not hurried. It is deliberate, measured, like the beating of a giant heart echoing softly through the twilight. You can almost imagine that each note of the hammer carries with it a story of journeys begun, of paths taken, of protection given by the tools and charms born here. As the hammer rises and falls, sparks leap, showering the air with tiny constellations of fire. They drift down, fading into darkness, like shooting stars vanishing in the sky. Their glow lingers just long enough to remind you of the warmth, then disappears, leaving calm, quiet night around you. Breathe with the rhythm of the hammer. Inhale as the arm rises, filling with strength. Exhale as the hammer falls, releasing sound, releasing energy. The forge itself seems to breathe with you below sighing softly, flames flaring gently as though the whole workshop is alive, resting in harmony with your body. Beyond the doorway, evening deepens. The last streaks of sunlight slip below the horizon, and the sky turns velvet blue, A few first stars appear above, shining faintly. They watch over the forge like guardians of old, patient and eternal. The blacksmith glances toward them, as if remembering that every ember, every glowing coal, mirrors the stars above. There is lore, too, within these walls. The blacksmith, like many before, knows that a horseshoe, once cooled and shaped, is more than iron. It is a token of fortune, a charm of protection. Hung above a doorway, it was believed to catch luck, to hold it steady within a home, guarding those inside. The curved iron, born of fire and patience, was thought to bend misfortune away. And as you imagine that iron cooling, settling into its final form, you feel yourself cooling tool like a spark that has danced, glowed brightly, and now sinks gently into rest. The fiery rhythm slows. The hammer grows quieter, softer. The air is thick with the faint scent of smoke, metal, and earth. The blacksmith wipes the brow, sets the hammer aside, and listens. The forge hums gently, its embers whispering their last lullaby. The quiet after the work is almost sacred. The hammer rests against the anvil, no longer singing its metallic hymn. The only sounds now are the low, steady breathing of the forge and the occasional crackle of coal shifting within its bed of heat. It feels as though the whole world has exhaled and settled into a hush. The blacksmith leans back, strong arms glistening faintly in the fading glow. For a moment, nothing stirs. The air is heavy with the perfume of iron and ash, and outside, a soft breeze passes by, carrying with it the scent of grass and earth, cool and grounding. The night has arrived gently, without rushing, blanketing the land in stillness. You notice the rhythm of the forge. Each ember seems to flicker with its own heartbeat, pulsing in quiet harmony with your breath. The glow brightens as you inhale, fades softly as you exhale. Over and over, fire and breath align, weaving a calm rhythm that guides you deeper into rest. The blacksmith's gaze falls upon a freshly forged horseshoe resting nearby. Its curve is smooth, strong, protective. In the dim light, it gleams faintly, as though holding within it a promise of journeys safe, of homes shielded from harm. There is comfort in its presence. It is more than a tool. It is a charm, forged with patience, cooled with care, holding centuries of belief and trust. Imagine now, that same horseshoe nailed above a wooden door. Imagine stepping through that doorway, feeling a sense of safety, as though luck itself pauses at the threshold to greet you. The iron holds a quiet power, not loud, not boastful, but steady and constant, like the blacksmith who shaped it. The night deepens. Crickets begin their slow chorus outside, a lullaby woven into the fabric of darkness. The wind sighs gently through the trees, like the forge bellows grown softer, quieter. Every sound now blends into one soothing atmosphere, a world at ease, a workshop closing into silence. The embers dim further. One by one, sparks wink out, returning their light to the night sky. It is as if the forge has given its fire back to the stars, and the stars accept it kindly, glowing brighter in response. And so the blacksmith's ember rests. The forge, though quiet, still radiates a soft warmth that lingers in the air. It feels like the heartbeat of the place continues, steady and unhurried, even when the flames are low. That warmth gently wraps around you as though the workshop itself is offering comfort. The blacksmith steps outside, wiping his hands on a cloth, leaving the glow behind him. The night greets him with its coolness, and he breathes deeply, letting the chill air cleanse away the heaviness of heat and labor. Above, the sky stretches wide and clear, a deep velvet canvas sprinkled with silver points of starlight. Each star twinkles faintly, as if echoing the sparks that had once leaped from the forge earlier in the day. The soundscape shifts. Instead of hammer and fire, there is now the gentle song of crickets and the soft rustling of leaves stirred by the night breeze. A faint creak of wood comes from the stable nearby, where horses shift quietly in their stalls, safe and at rest. The world seems slowed, as though it has entered its own form of meditation. He pauses to hang the horseshoe outside his home. The nail sinks firmly into the wood, and with each strike, there is a calm rhythm lighter, quieter than the heavy clang of the anvil. It is almost like a heartbeat marking the threshold. When the last nail is set, the horseshoe rests in its new place, a silent guardian, a symbol of welcome and of luck. Imagine yourself standing before it, looking at its crescent shape glowing softly in the starlight. Feel how its presence seems to assure you that you are safe, that fortune is kind, that peace is close at hand. The night air is cool against your skin, but the iron charm holds a steady warmth, a balance between strength and calm. The blacksmith steps back and admires the simple piece of work. His eyes soften, his shoulders release their tension. The day's labor has become more than just shaping iron, it has become a gift. Something that will linger long after the forge's fire has cooled. With one last glance at the glowing embers inside, he closes the workshop door. The sound of the latch falling into place is final, gentle, like the closing of a lullaby's verse. The blacksmith walks slowly back toward his small cottage, his boots crunching softly on the gravel path. Each step is measured, unhurried, as though he is in rhythm with the night itself. The lantern he carries swings gently, its light flickering golden across the ground, casting long, soft shadows that dance with the breeze. Inside the cottage, the air is cool and faintly scented with herbs hung from the beams above. Lavender, rosemary, and sage dangle in small bundles, releasing their calming fragrance into the room. A single candle burns upon the wooden table, its flame steady, glowing like a quiet echo of the forge he has left behind. He sets the lantern aside and eases himself onto the bench, placing his hands upon the table. His palms are calloused, marked by years of hammering iron, yet tonight they seem almost weightless. The rhythm of the day's work lingers within his muscles, but it has softened into memory rather than strain. He pours a cup of water, cool and fresh, and drinks deeply. The liquid feels smooth and grounding, a reminder that even after the heat and noise of the forge, there is always renewal, always calm waiting in the stillness. The cottage window lets in a sliver of moonlight, silver against the wooden floor. It stretches across the room like a gentle path, a reminder that beyond the walls lies a vast and quiet sky. The blacksmith leans back and closes his eyes, listening, not to the clang of hammer or roar of fire, but to the delicate chorus of the night, the whisper of leaves, the song of distant owls, the faint bubbling of a nearby stream. You too can feel this night around you. Imagine breathing with its low, even effortless. With each breath, your body softens, your thoughts grow lighter, and your mind drifts toward the same peace that surrounds the cottage. The candle flickers, its light low and tender. It does not demand attention, it simply offers presence. Shadows it casts sway gently like waves of calm, like the rocking of a cradle. The blacksmith watches for a moment, and then lets his eyes close once more, surrendering to the stillness. The forge is resting, the embers are glowing, the night is whole, and you are safe, held within the quiet strength of this world. Outside, the night deepens, settling into its quiet rhythm. The stars shimmer overhead like sparks flung from a celestial anvil, each one glowing softly in the dark expanse. The blacksmith, drifting between waking and dreaming, imagines them as embers scattered across the Heavensteiny fires, guiding him homeward in his mind. The gentle creak of the cottage beams answers the soft sigh of the wind outside. It is as if the building itself breathes with him, slow and steady, sheltering him in its wooden heart. The stone walls, warmed by the day's sun, now release their heat little by little, enfolding the room in a hushed embrace. He thinks of the old superstition, the one that says a horseshoe above the doorway keeps misfortune away. Many cottages in the village bear this sign, hammered and bent by hands like his. Some believe the curve holds luck, others that iron itself wards off wandering spirits. Whatever the truth, the blacksmith finds comfort in the thought, as though his work has shaped not only tools and armor, but protection and peace. Perhaps as you picture this, you can imagine standing in that doorway, looking at the iron above. Feel the cool air brushing past your skin, the scent of earth and grass rising around you. And sense, too, the security it brings, the idea that here, within these walls, you are safeguarded, sheltered from the world beyond. Inside, the candle burns lower, the flame shrinking but steady. Shadows grow longer, more blurred, until they seem less like shapes and more like dreams forming across the floorboards. The blacksmith leans against the wooden frame of his bed, letting his body rest. The day's weight has left him, replaced by a flowing ease, like water running over smooth stone. You might find as you listen that your own body mirrors his release, your arms sinking into rest. You're breathing slower, your heartbeat calm. Like the blacksmith, you have stepped away from the noise of the day and into the stillness of night. The forge is silent now. The hammer lies still. Only the ember remains, glowing gently, steadily, a reminder that warmth and light can linger, even in silence. And as the blacksmith drifts deeper into his rest, so may you. The blacksmith lies upon his simple bed, the woolen blanket drawn loosely over him. The mattress is firm yet welcoming, made of straw and cloth stitched by careful hands. It creaks faintly as he shifts, and then becomes utterly still. The sound of the world beyond his walls fades, replaced by the rhythm of his breath, deep and even like bellows drawing air. Above him, the rafters arch like the beams of a ship turned upside down. He imagines, in his half-dreaming state, that he is adrift upon a quiet sea, the stars above guiding him as lanterns once did for sailors. Each twinkle feels close enough to touch, like sparks hovering just beyond his fingertips. The ember's glow is still present in his thoughts, warm, steady, alive. He recalls how it glowed in the forge at dusk, a living heart that seemed almost a whisper. That glow now follows him into rest, softening his dreams with its gentle radiance. Perhaps you too can feel it.
Okay.
A faint warmth, not hot, not sharp, just enough to soothe. Imagine it resting in the center of your chest, glowing with each breath, ebbing and flowing in quiet rhythm. As you inhale, it brightens. As you exhale, it softens. The ember becomes part of you, guiding you into stillness, carrying you deeper into calm. The blacksmith's thoughts drift to the lives he has touched with his craft. The farmer whose plow he mended so that fields could yield again. The traveler who carried a well-made sword, not for war, but for protection upon lonely roads. And the many cottages that bore his horseshoes, each one a silent guardian above a family's door. His work was more than iron, it was connection, service, and care. A faint smile curls upon his lips. Even in silence, the forge speaks through the lives of others. The thought settles him like a lullaby sung without words. The cottage grows darker as the candle sputters low. The flame bends, trembles, then steadies once more, as though unwilling to leave until its light has safely carried the blacksmith into his dreams. The night is deep. The ember glows. The blacksmith sleeps. And you too may follow him slowly, peacefully, gently into rest. The night outside the cottage is rich and full, yet hushed. Crickets play their steady chorus, and somewhere in the distance, nightbird calls, a single note carried gently on the wind. The sound drifts through the wooden shutters, blending with the soft rhythm of the blacksmith's breath. The forge, though dark, still holds a faint perfume of smoke and iron. It lingers in the air, not harsh but comforting, like the memory of a fire long since banked. The stone hearth embraces its quiet ember, glowing just enough to remind the world that fire once roared here, and in its silence, there is peace. The blacksmith's body has surrendered fully now. His arms rest heavily at his sides, his chest rises and falls in unison with the night. He dreams without effort, carried along by the gentle currents of his own imagination. In one dream, he sees sparks floating upward like fireflies. In another, he walks through a meadow where every blade of grass glows faintly, as though lit by embers hidden deep within the earth. As you listen, you may find your own dreams beginning to stir at the edges of thought. Perhaps you see the forge, the tools, the steady glow of fire. Or perhaps your mind wanders elsewhere, to places quiet and safe, to moments when the world feels hushed and kind. Whatever shape they take, let them carry you as gently as the ember carries the blacksmith. The candle's flame finally softens into a small golden tear, its wax pooling around the base. It flickers, bends low, and at last bows out, leaving the room in darkness. Yet the darkness is not empty, is full of warmth, full of quiet. The glow of the ember remains unseen but felt, like the heartbeat of the night itself. The blacksmith's breath deepens, his face calm. He is held in the safety of his home, guarded by the horseshoe above the door and by the strength of the work he has given the world. His sleep is whole and steady, and so may yours be. Feel the ember within, you soft, glowing, eternal. Let it cradle you, let it guide you gently, slowly, peacefully. peacefully to rest. The cottage rests beneath the vast dome of the night sky, its roof outlined faintly by the silver light of the moon. All around, the village sleeps, each home silent, each family folded into the stillness of their dreams. Above many of those doors hang the blacksmith's horseshoes, small arcs of iron, hammered with care, holding within them the quiet promise of luck and protection. The villagers believe that iron carries strength, that its curve catches wandering misfortune, trapping it before it can enter. And though the blacksmith is not a man of superstition, he cannot help but feel a quiet pride knowing his work stands watch while others sleep. His labor is not only in shaping tools and weapons, but in shaping peace-silent guardians for those who trust him. The forge, though silent now, is part of that peace. Its walls, marked by soot and heat, are not empty, but resting, much like the man himself. Within its heart lies the ember, glowing faintly in the ash. It is the last breath of the day's fire, holding warmth through the darkness, waiting patiently for the dawn to call it back to life. You may imagine yourself kneeling before that ember, watching it glow. Its light is soft, orange and gold, pulsing as though alive. Each pulse feels like a breath, steady, calm, endless. If you breathe with it, inhaling as it brightens, exhaling as it softens, you may find your own body sinking deeper, more fully into rest. The blacksmith, in his dreams, hears the rhythm of hammer against anvil, not loud, not harsh, but softened, slowed, as though the world itself is singing him to sleep. Ah! The ringing fades into a lull, a memory, a distant bell carried on the wind. It soothes rather than stirs. The stars overhead glimmer faintly, their light ancient and gentle. They too seem like embers scattered across a vast black forge, glowing steadily in silence. They ask for nothing. They only shine. And in this stillness, in this quiet glow, the blacksmith's sleep deepens. The ember cradles him. The night enfolds him. The world rests with him. So may you too surrender. Now, your body heavy, your breath slow, your thoughts drifting like sparks into the quiet sky. Dawn has not yet arrived, yet the night has grown softer, as though it too prepares to rest. The wind is stilled, leaving the village wrapped in silence, broken only by the occasional murmur of an owl or the distant rustle of a branch swaying gently. The earth itself seems to breathe, calm and steady, as though joining in the rhythm of every sleeping soul. Inside the cottage, the blacksmith lies completely surrendered to sleep. His dreams drift seamlessly, carrying him to places woven of memory and imagination. He dreams of firelight, warm and steady, never consuming, always guiding. He dreams of sparks rising like stars, filling the air with tiny points of brilliance, before fading into the night. In his dream, he shapes not iron but light itself. Each strike of his hammer releases a glow that spreads across the sky, as though forging constellations. A horseshoe takes shape from fire and starlight, and when he lifts it high, it arcs across the heavens, settling above the village as a crown of protection. The dream is gentle, almost like a prayer, whispered in the language of embers. Perhaps you too can see this image, the blacksmith at his forge of stars, hammering quietly, steadily, calmly. The sound is not sharp but soft, like distant bells, like a lullaby carried on a breeze. Each strike soothes rather than stirs. Each glow comforts rather than blinds. The ember in the real forge has dimmed further, yet still it holds life, not gone simply within the ash, not gone, simply resting. By morning, it will welcome kindling again, springing into flame at the blacksmith's touch. But for now, it sleeps. The forge sleeps. The village sleeps. And the world itself seems folded in a blanket of silence. You may feel as you listen that you too are resting with them. Your body heavy, safe, your breath slow, even, your thoughts quiet, flowing like warm metal cooling into stillness. The blacksmith, the ember, the stars, they all drift in harmony, in rhythm with the night. And you are part of it, carried gently within its embrace. Sleep comes easily here, like a gift, like a glowing ember resting in your heart. The hours of night stretch onward, yet they feel weightless, unmeasured, like a river without end. In this silence, Time does not press forward. It drifts, slow and steady, like smoke rising from an ember. The blacksmith's breathing is deep and calm, each inhale drawing in peace, each exhale letting go of the day's weight. His cottage is wrapped in stillness. The wooden beams above him creak gently as the air cools, a soft reminder of the house's age and steadfastness. These walls have weathered storms, held warmth in winters, and echoed with laughter in brighter seasons. Tonight they hold silence, strong and sure, shielding him from the chill of the night air. The ember in the forge glows faintly, though no one watches it now. Its orange heart pulses quietly, not for display, but simply because it must. Fire is alive even in rest, carrying a hidden strength that waits patiently for its time to return. The ember is like the blacksmith himself, resting deeply, gathering strength, preparing for the new day that will rise with the sun. Perhaps you too can feel this ember within you. A glow that does not fade even when your body rests, is calm, steady, eternal. As you breathe, picture it brightening with each inhale, softening with each exhale, until your whole being feels warm, safe, and unhurried. In his dreams, the blacksmith continues to forge it. His hammer falls gently. The sound a low, musical hum that soothes rather than startles. Each strike sends ripples of light outward, filling the air with golden warmth. The dream feels endless, timeless, as though he has stepped into a world where labor is peace and creation is rest. Outside, the moon begins its slow descent, leaning westward, its pale light washing over the roofs of the village. The horseshoes above the doors glimmer faintly in that glow, small arcs of iron reflecting the moonlight like protective halos. The village is safe, watched over, wrapped in sleep. And you too are safe here. Safe in this quiet, in this night, in this ember's glow. The blacksmith sleeps. The world sleeps. And sleep calls to you now, softly, gently, endlessly. The night air grows cooler, carrying with it the faintest scent of damp earth and grass. Beyond the cottage walls, dew begins to gather on each blade, shimmering faintly in the moonlight like tiny fragments of silver. It is the hour of deepest stillness, when the world seems to pause and breathe, waiting quietly for dawn's first light. Inside, the blacksmith's body is heavy with rest, but his mind drifts gently in dream. He walks along a forest path, lantern in hand, though the forest itself glows faintly without need of flame. Each tree seems alive with an inner light, their bark warm with ember tones, their leaves whispering as though telling him secrets of the night. He feels no weight, no burden, no only calm curiosity, a softness guiding his every step. The path leads him to a clearing, where a great anvil rests beneath the stars. Upon it lies no iron, no tool only, a single glowing ember, larger than his palm, glowing like the heart of the forge. He reaches out, and as his hand nears, the ember brightens, pulsing like a living heartbeat. Its light expands outward, wrapping him in warmth. He feels protected, comforted, deeply at peace. This dream ember is not unlike the one that rests within the forge, nor the one that glows within you now. A reminder that strength can be soft, that warmth does not demand but simply gives, endlessly, silently. As you breathe, you may feel it too steady, pulsing, guiding you deeper into rest. Back in the waking world, the ember in the forge dims further, though it still holds its quiet spark. The stones around it are warm, the ash a blanket keeping its glow alive. Soon it will sleep completely, surrendering to the night, only to awaken again when touched by kindling. Even embers know the rhythm of rest and renewal. The blacksmith's dreams carry him further now, away from the clearing toward starlit fields that stretch endlessly. The sky arches above him, vast and filled with shimmering points of light constellations shaped like tools, like hammers, like horseshoes. Each one shines not with fire, but with calm, gentle illumination. And beneath that sky, he feels the same as you may feel, now safe, warm, at ease. Drifting further and further into quiet sleep, the constellations above him shift slowly, as though turning on some great invisible wheel. One cluster forms the outline of a forge, another the curve of an anvil. A horseshoe glimmers in the sky, its arc protective and inviting, the ancient sign of luck and safety. It hangs above him in the heavens, just as it once hung above doorways, offering quiet assurance to those who passed beneath it. The blacksmith smiles in his dream, feeling the blessing of that star-shaped talisman. Each star twinkles softly like tiny sparks leaping from the forge at here. There's no harsh clang, no heavy strike. Only quiet rhythm, a lull of light, steady and eternal. A breeze stirs the grass at his feet, and it whispers with the ease of a lullaby. He inhales deeply, the cool night air mingling with the warmth of his dream ember, and exhales slowly, letting go of everything heavy. The night itself seems to breathe with Jim. Inhale, exhale, exhale, drawing him deeper into calm with each gentle cycle. In the cottage, his chest rises and falls in the same steady rhythm. The sound of his breath blends with the faint sigh of cooling iron, the soft hush of settling coals. Every part of the forge, every corner of the room seems to hum in quiet harmony. It is a lull that belongs not only to him but to you, as well an invitation to rest, to drift, to follow the rhythm into dream. The dream shifts again, carrying him toward a flowing river. Its surface is dark, yet scattered with starlight, as though the heavens themselves have melted down to shimmer upon the water. He kneels at its edge, touches the cool flow, and feels the same calm as touching iron shaped by fire. Transformation, he realizes, happens not only in heat, but also in the quiet of water. Both are part of the same eternal balance. He listens as the water flows, soft and constant, like the sound of distant sleep. It carries him further inward, toward peace so deep it feels infinite. And you too may feel that water now, trickling gently, carrying away the remnants of the day, leaving you lighter, calmer, softer. The ember within his dream still glows, still waits, but it grows fainter as rest deepens, fading not in loss but in surrender, in trust that warmth will always return. The blacksmith leans back beside the riverbank in his dream, resting against smooth stone worn soft by time. He lets his head tilt, eyes heavy, gaze drifting toward the ripples. The stars reflected in the water seem to stretch and sway with each passing current, until they resemble molten metal liquid, luminous, alive. A memory comes to him, though it arrives like a whisper rather than a clear vision. He remembers once, long ago, standing before a group of apprentices. His voice steady, his hammer raised, he told them, "The forge is not only about strength, it is about patience. Fire teaches us, metal teaches us, time teaches us, that memory lingers only as tone, not detail, but it soothes him now. Patience, he thinks. Patience like the slow breath of night. Patience like the way iron yields only when treated with respect. Patience like the long journey into slumber, where each layer of wakefulness must melt gently away. The embers in his cottage hearth give their final sigh. Their glow softens, receding into ash, like stars vanishing behind dawn's approach. And yet the warmth remains in the air, a soft caress wrapping around him like a woolen blanket. You may feel it too, a safe and steady warmth, holding you, comforting you. Around the cottage, the world itself rests, the village sleeps, the fields sigh with night breezes. Horses in their stalls shift once, softly, then fall still again. It is a shared quiet, a lull that extends far beyond one forge, one man, one dream. It is the lull of the earth itself, inviting rest. Our blacksmith, let's go even deeper now. His breathing is slow, even natural. His thoughts drift like sparks into the sky, rising, fading, dissolving into vast calm. The ember in his heart is steady, but faint, pulsing only enough to guide him into the depths of peace. And now, as he drifts, the sounds fade too. The water softens into silence. The stars hum only faintly. Even the dream forge, with its glowing iron and protective horseshoe above the door, recedes gently. Nothing is lost, only quieted, only softened until all that remains is stillness. Stillness, like a final ember glowing in the hush of night. That stillness is not emptiness, is fullness without noise, a presence without weight. In the hush of the blacksmith's world, you may notice how even silence has its rhythm soft, steady like the breath of a sleeping earth. It is the rhythm that guides the body deeper, deeper into calm. The blacksmith in his dream hears it too. He feels it not in his ears, but in his chest, a soft resonance that beats with his heart. The forge is quiet now, the anvil cool, the hammer resting, but the rhythm remains. It is the same rhythm he once felt when walking through wheat fields at dusk, the wind bending stalks and waves. It is the same rhythm of the sea he once glimpsed on a long journey, tide pulling, tide returning. It is the rhythm of life itself, and so he lets it carry him. His shoulders soften. His jaw releases, his hands so long accustomed to gripping tools, open fingers uncurling into ease. He drifts further, surrendering to the current of stillness. Above him, stars continue their silent watch. They shimmer faintly, like embers scattered across an endless sky. Perhaps you can imagine them too, high above your resting body, soft and steady lights, holding the night together. Each one is quiet, each one is far away. And yet together they form patterns, constellations, maps, to guide travelers of long ago. The blacksmith has no need to travel tonight. His journey is inward, not outward. Yet the stars watch over him all the same, patient, eternal. They whisper nothing, yet their very presence assures him. All is safe, all is calm, all is well. His breathing slows once more, deep and even. The embers of thought fade, leaving only warmth. His cottage, his forge, his dream, all become softer, blurrier, like mist rising from cool morning fields. He no longer tries to hold them. He simply rests in their gentle dissolve. And as you listen, perhaps you'd allow what is unnecessary to fade. The day's weight, the scattered thoughts, the little echoes of worry, let them drift like sparks into the vast night sky. They rise, they fade, and they are gone. But what remains is peace. What remains is warmth, stillness, and rest. The warmth now gathers gently around you, as though the forge's glow has spread outward into the very air. It is not a blazing heat, but a tender one, like the last light of sunset resting on the skin. You can let it sink deeper, flowing through shoulders, arms, and chest, easing every place that once held strain. The blacksmith feels it too, as though his own fire has curled back into his heart. He remembers how, in old tales, people believed a fire carried its spiritan ember that lived, breathed, and could be tended like a soul. He wonders in his drifting whether his own ember rests within him now, glowing softly, steady, and calm. Perhaps you can imagine your own inner ember, small and steady. It doesn't flicker wildly, it doesn't demand, it simply glows. Every breath you take feeds it gently. Every exhale releases unneeded smoke. The ember remains, constant, reassuring.
Outside.
The night stretches. The village lanes are still, the roofs silvered with moonlight. An owl glides silently across the sky, wings wide and silent as shadows. Somewhere far off, water laps against stone, a distant well or a stream. These sounds do not disturb. They soothe, reminding you of the world's steady, timeless pace.
Oh, the blacksmith drifts with them. His dream carries him along corridors of memory. The clinking of coins on a counter long ago, the neigh of a horse waiting patiently for its new shoe, the laughter of a child at the ringing hammer.
All these moments drift by him like leaves on a stream, soft, floating, weightless. And you may notice how your own thoughts, too, begin to float. They need no anchoring, no holding. They come, they pass, and they move on. Remain here, resting, calm. The body feels heavier, yet the mind lighter. The forge's embers within you glow steady, keeping watch, even as all else releases into sleep. In this way, the blacksmith surrenders tonight. Not with effort, but with ease. Not with force, but with trust. He rests, and the world rests with him. The stars hold the sky.
Oh.
The earth holds the roots. And your breath holds you come, steady, present. It's drifting, softer, deeper. The quiet deepens, folding around the forge like a soft blanket. The last sparks from the anvil have vanished, and what remains is a faint red glow, fading into darkness. Yet that fading glow feels comforting, like the slow dimming of candles at the end of a long evening. Signaling that all is safe, that all is done, blacksmith's breathing matches the rhythm of the night. Each inhale draws in the coolness of the air. Each exhale drifts out like a sigh, calm and unhurried. His chest rises and falls gently, and his body becomes still, heavy, grounded. You too may notice the rise and fall of your breath, steady and natural, without effort. Simply following it, like the way one might follow the sound of a stream, calms the body further. He dreams of wood and iron, not as heavy burdens, but as familiar friends. The lances once carved from ash, designed to break cleanly in the tournament fields. The horseshoes curved in crescent shapes, believed to carry good fortune when fixed above a door. The nails hammered with care, binding wood to frame, frame to house, house to home. Each object becomes more than material, it becomes a vessel of memory, of blessing. You might picture one of those horseshoes now, nailed above an ancient doorway. Rain has darkened the wood around it. Moss creeps along the stone, yet the iron remains, strong, enduring. Each time people passed beneath, they believed luck, or safety, or protection hovered there unseen. Imagine yourself stepping through such a door. Beneath that curved iron safe, calm held. Inside that doorway, a hearth glows. A fire murmurs, its crackles softened, its light golden. The room is empty, but not lonely. You may imagine the warmth is yours, a gift waiting only for you. In that fire, the ember glows again, as steady as before. It asks for nothing, yet gives a sense of rest, of home, of shelter. The blacksmith sleeps with that same ember within him, and you may too. Yes. His dreams are not sharp, not hurried, but rounded, like pebbles smoothed in a stream. They flow, they soften, they carry him gently. And as he drifts deeper, so can you, carried by breath, by ember, by the night itself. Outside, the village is quiet. The last traces of twilight have dissolved, and stars prick the heavens like tiny embers scattered across a velvet sky. Each one glows steadily, neither hurried nor faint, as if reflecting the forge's own heart fire above. Their stillness is calming, almost hypnotic. The blacksmith's forge stands like a guardian of warmth against the cool night. Its stones are dark now, its chimney releasing only the gentlest wisp of smoke that drifts into the air before disappearing. Imagine watching that smoke rise slowly, curling, dissolving into the stars. Just like your thoughts may rise and dissolve, leaving behind only quiet stillness. Within, the tools rest where they belong. The hammers lie heavy, yet silent. The tongs hold nothing now, only their metal jaws closed in rest. Even the bellows are folded against themselves, motionless, as though taking in their own long sleep. All of it, the wood, the stone, the iron rests, breathing in time with the night. You too may notice how rest spreads through your body. Like the tools, you can lay yourself down, unburdened, no task to perform, no weight to carry. Your arms may feel loose and heavy. Your legs may sink deeper, softened by stillness. Each breath carries you closer to that gentle state, where nothing is asked of you except to be. The blacksmith dreams of sparks, but they do not fly or sting, float like fireflies, gentle, glowing. In his dream, they drift around him, soft lights that never burn, only illuminate the air. They gather like a constellation, forming shapes, patterns, memories, a horseshoe in the sky, a circle of embers, a path leading into calm night. And in this dream, each spark seems to carry a sound. Not loud, not sharp, but soft like a distant crackle, a faint chiming, or the hush of glowing coal shifting in the dark. These sounds weave together, forming a rhythm that slows the mind, like a lullaby made of fire. You may hear it too in your imagination, faint, fading, warm. A rhythm that tells the body it is safe to let go, to close, to drift. And as the blacksmith sinks further into his slumber, so too can you. The ember glows softer now, dim but steady, like the very last candle left to burn in a vast hall. Its light is gentle, not sharp, spreading a warm halo that eases every shadow into comfort. Imagine yourself sitting near that glow, its warmth brushing against your skin, its color tinting the air with hues of amber and red. There is no urgency in it, no demand, only a calm invitation to rest. The blacksmith, deep in dreams, drifts between memories of fire and the soft presence of night. His hands, so often strong and precise, now curl loosely as he rests. The weight of his work has slipped from his shoulders, leaving him as still as the stones of his forge. You may feel the same, like the heaviness of your day has been set down, piece by piece, until you, too, are light, unburdened. In the silence, only one rhythm remains. The rise and fall of breath. Inhales, slow, full. Exhale, gentle, releasing. Over and over, this rhythm carries him deeper, and it can carry you as well. Imagine that your breath is synchronized with the embers glowy expanding with each inhale, softening with each exhale. Together, you and the ember become steady, timeless. Long ago, blacksmiths would work until the last of daylight vanished, their forges flickering into the dark. Villagers would sometimes pass by, watching sparks leap like tiny stars in the gloom. Those sparks, brief but bright, were seen as signs of life and endurance. People believed that even in the darkest night, a forge's light meant hope, protection, and continuity. You might imagine standing at such a doorway, watching sparks rise into the cool air, each one fading slowly, like a blessing carried upward. Now, the blacksmith's forge rests entirely. No sparks remain, only the soft breath of coal cooling in the dark. Yet within that fading fire is a lesson. That endings can be peaceful, that rest is as important as labor, that quiet is a gift. So too, may you drift toward that quiet. With every moment, your body sinks further into softness. Muscles slacken, thoughts grow slower, quieter. The ember fades, but the comfort remains, carrying you further into the calm night, into the gentle stillness, waiting just beyond waking. The forge is silent now, yet silence here is not empty. It is full of memory, of warmth, of the gentle echo of what once was. The stones seem to hum with the day's past heat, releasing it slowly, like a lullaby you can almost feel against your skin. That quiet hum lingers, steady and soft, reminding you that peace can be found even after the brightest fire dims. The blacksmith, still at rest, dreams of the rhythm of his hammer, not sharp strikes, but softened ones like echoes dissolving into water. In his dream, each tap of metal becomes lighter, until it no longer feels like sound, but like a heartbeat. Calm, slow, reassuring. You may imagine that rhythm too, not loud in your ears, but gently felt within you like your own heart, steady, grounding you in comfort. He recalls, even in sleep, the old belief that horseshoes brought luck. They were nailed above doors, curved iron smiles watching over households. Families would step beneath them, believing they carried protection, fortune, and calm. You might imagine one of those doors now, its frame of weathered wood, its iron shoe catching a glimmer of starlight. As you picture yourself stepping under it, you may sense a wave of safety and ease, as though you are crossing into a space where only rest can reach you. Inside that doorway lies a room with quiet warmth. Perhaps there is a simple hearth, its fire reduced to glowing coals. No flames leap, no sparks rise, only the steady glow of embers, warm and tender. Imagine sitting near them, the warmth spreading to your body, loosening every muscle, softening every breath. Nothing asks of you here. You are welcome simply to be. The night outside stretches endlessly, yet it feels close, like a gentle cloak wrapping around you. Stars glimmer faintly overhead, not to dazzle, but to reassure. They remind you of sparks, of fireflies, of every small light that has ever guided travelers through the dark. You may allow those lights to guide you now, not to any destination, but deeper into rest. The blacksmith drifts further, his body heavy, his dreams gentle. The ember remains, glowing quietly. And you too may sink into that glow, carried by its warmth, into a night without effort, without weight, without end. The forge, once alive with ringing steel and rising sparks, has given itself over completely to quiet. The night holds it tenderly, wrapping the stones and timbers in cool air. Yet even in that stillness, a sense of presence lingers like the memory of music after the last note fades. The ember, though dim, continues to pulse softly, a reminder that warmth endures even in silence. The blacksmith dreams of walking along a road at dusk. His hammer is not with him, nor his tools, only the quiet rhythm of his steps. The road is lined with tall trees, their branches weaving into one another overhead, creating a canopy. Through the spaces, he sees stars, each one glowing like sparks, suspended in time. His heart feels light, as though the weight of iron and labor has melted away. You may join him there, if you wish, walking along that road, beneath the trees, under the stars. Each step you take is unhurried, soft, and restful. In his dream, the road leads to a village where doorways gleam with horseshoes fixed above them. Each one seems to shine faintly, as if lit by an invisible ember. These symbols of protection and luck welcome him, and perhaps they welcome you too. Imagine passing beneath one, stepping into a home where peace lives in every corner, where the air itself seems to breathe in harmony with your own chest. Inside, a hearth glows. No roaring fire now, only a bed of embers, glowing red and orange, releasing a warmth that soothes rather than stirs. Their glow seems to match your own inner rhythm, slow and steady. Inhale, and the ember brightens. Exhale, and it softens. Over and over, this rhythm becomes your guide, calming both body and mind. The blacksmith's body rests deeply. His hands, so often defined by strength, now appear relaxed, fingers loose as though they are floating. His breath is soft, unlabored, as natural as the breeze that moves through the night beyond the forge. He is safe, and you are safe with Jimin, this world of ember and quiet. Allow yourself to sink further now. Imagine the ember shrinking, not into nothing, but into a single glowing point of comfort. That small glow becomes your anchor, steady and constant, carrying you deeper into stillness, deeper into sleep. The air in the forge has cooled, carrying with it the faint scent of ash and iron. It is not sharp, but softened, like smoke that has drifted far enough to lose its edge. The stones along the hearth still hold their warmth, though faint, releasing it gradually into the quiet. That warmth mingles with the night's coolness, creating a balance that feels deeply calming, like the harmony between day and night, fire and water, breath and stillness. The blacksmith drifts in dreams of fire, though his dream is gentle. The flames are not roaring or fierce, they are small, like candle flames, steady and unthreatening. Each one flickers softly, casting halos of golden light into the air. They do not burn, they do not consume, simply glow. Imagine yourself surrounded by such flames, each one a small star of comfort, floating near you, watching over you. As the dream unfolds, he remembers the rhythm of his hammer, softened now into a memory. Where once there was clang and ring, now there is only the faintest echo, like distant bells carried on the breeze. That sound blends with the imagined trickle of water outside, as though a stream runs not far from the forge, flowing endlessly. Fire and water together, two rhythms intertwined, balancing each other, holding the night in peace. You too may let these rhythms guide you. 8. The faint bell-like echoes of the hammer can be your heartbeat, steady, grounding. The trickling water may be your breath, rising and falling, flowing without effort. Together, they carry you deeper, step by step, into calm. In his dream, the blacksmith sees sparks drifting upward, but they no longer fade. Instead, they become stars, joining the sky. He realizes that each spark of work, of labor, of life, has its place above. Nothing is lost, everything transformed. And as he gazes upward, his heart feels lighter, unburdened. You may imagine that sky now, filled with stars that once were sparks, each one glowing just for you. A gentle reminder that your light, too, is never lost. The ember in the forge fades further, yet even as it does, its presence remains strong. Like memory, like breath, like heartbeat, it continues, unseen but steady. And with each fading glow, you drift further, deeper, into rest. The forge is now cloaked in darkness, save for the single ember that lingers, a soft glow cradled in ash. No longer sparks, no longer shifts, but rests as though it too has fallen into sleep. That ember is like a guardian of stillness, quiet, calm, patient. Imagine its glow now, steady as a star, pulsing faintly with your breath. With every inhale, it brightens. With every exhale, it softens. The blacksmith sleeps more deeply, carried by dreams that weave like smoke through the night. He sees himself not at the anvil, but seated beside the fire, listening to the sound of the bellows slowing, then stopping, until only silence remains. That silence does not feel empty, it feels full, rich, nourishing, as though it carries the weight of everything that has come before. He leans into it, as though leaning into a friend. You may notice how silence wraps around you as well. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of peace, like a still pond reflecting the moon, or snow blanketing the world in calm. In this silence, your body softens further. Your arms may feel heavy, your legs sinking, your breath deep and even. Every muscle has permission to let go. The old belief of the lucky horseshoe lingers in his mind. Curved iron, nailed above doors, turned outward to welcome fortune, or inward to keep it safe. In his dream, he sees doorways lit faintly by lanterns, each one crowned with a shining arc of iron. He passes beneath them, and with each step feels lighter, more at ease, more protected. You might walk with him there, beneath those arches, sensing safety with every breath. A hush of wind drifts through the dream, carrying with it the scent of wood smoke, the cool touch of evening air. The sound is soft, like the whisper of fabric or the brush of leaves. That whisper soothes, guiding the mind further inward, further down, into quiet. The ember fades smaller still, but in doing so it becomes more precious. A single point of light, a steady reminder that even the smallest glow holds warmth, holds life. The blacksmith dreams on, and you drift with him, following that glow deeper into rest, deeper into peace. The tools, the stone, the timber, all of it, rests together as though the forge is breathing in harmony with the earth. That one ember remains, a soft light in the darkness, like a watchful eye that neither fades nor leaves. It seems to hum quietly, though no sound is made. A vibration of comfort you can almost feel in your chest. The blacksmith, within his dreams, walks along a path that glows faintly under starlight. The ground beneath him is soft, not stone or dirt, but something between, like moss warmed by fire. Each step he takes is effortless, carrying him further into stillness. You may imagine walking beside him, your steps in time with his, each one lighter than the last. There is no destination, no urgency, only the act of walking itself, restful and calm. In the distance, he hears the faint ringing of a hammer, but it is no longer a tool striking metal. It is gentler, like a bell tolling slowly, its tone drifting across a quiet valley. The sound seems to echo forever, fading softer and softer until it is no longer heard, only felt. Perhaps you feel it too, a resonance within your own body, steadying your heartbeat, slowing your breath. As the dream deepens, he sees sparks rise again, but these are not sparks of work or labor. They are sparks of memory, of blessing. Each one floats upward, joining the night sky, becoming a star. And as more rise, the sky becomes brighter, filled with thousands of points of light. You may look upward with him, seeing a sky so full of stars it feels endless, each one carrying warmth, safety, comfort. The ember in the forge flickers, then steadies again, as though it knows it is not yet time to vanish. It glows just enough to remind the night that light is still here, still waiting. You may take that ember with you now, in your imagination, tucking it gently inside. It becomes your ember, glowing softly within, carrying you deeper into rest. The blacksmith lies still, his breath even, his dreams serene. Round him the forge breathes in silence, and the ember keeps its watch, guiding him manned, you into the heart of sleep. The ember breathes. It is a strange thought, perhaps, but in this quiet dreamscape it feels alive. It glows, then dims, glows again, then softens, like a pulse. You may allow yourself to follow that rhythm, your breath sinking with its glow. Inhale gently as the ember brightens, and exhale slowly as it fades to a softer hue. With each cycle, you grow lighter, calmer, more at ease. The blacksmith's dreams carry him to a meadow where the forge's warmth lingers, though no flames are present. Wildflowers sway gently in a breeze, their petals catching bits of light that feel like sparks in the air. The world is quiet here, so quiet that even the whisper of grass moving against grass feels like a song. It is the kind of song that does not need words, only presence. Somewhere nearby, a stream flows. The water is soft, not rushing, but steady. The blacksmith kneels beside it, cupping his hands to gather a sip. As he drinks, he feels the coolness spread through him, balancing the warmth he carries. You may imagine this toothless sensation of cool water meeting the quiet warmth of your body, a harmony between fire and stream. The ember from the forge is still with him, though now it rests in the palm of his hand. it does not burn. He holds it close, and as he does, the meadow itself seems to grow softer, its colors dimming as though preparing for slumber. Above, the stars shift slowly, their patterns weaving like threads across the sky. The blacksmith watches, his eyes heavy, his spirit soothed. Each star reminds him of a spark that once flew from his hammer every effort. Every moment of labor, now transformed into beauty above, and in that recognition, he feels peace. His work has become light. You too may sense that peace. The ember you carry within glows softly, steady, and sure. It holds you gently, guiding your breath, calming your thoughts, and as the blacksmith drifts deeper into his dream, you may drift too, your body heavier, your mind lighter, your heart utterly at rest. The meadow begins to fade into twilight hues, not in haste, but with a patient softness. Shadows lengthen, and the air cools, carrying with it the fragrance of earth after a long day's warmth. The blacksmith sits near the glowing ember in his palm, and the ember's glow spills out gently, like the last rays of dusk, lingering just a little longer than expected. He hears the gentle chirp of crickets, their steady rhythm a lullaby of the night. Each note blends with the whisper of leaves, with the faint sigh of the stream, with the world itself preparing for slumber. You may let these sounds settle into you as well, imagining them not outside but around you, wrapping you in layers of calm. The ember's pulse matches your own breathing now, so naturally that you no longer need to think about it. Inhale as it brightens. Exhale as it softens. With each breath, your body finds a deeper rhythm. Your mind unwinds its last threads of thought, and your spirit nestles into quiet. The blacksmith reflects on the old belief he once heard, that horseshoes, when nailed above doors, brought good fortune. It made him smile to think of a tyrant shaped by fire, carrying both protection and blessing. In his dream, he takes the ember in his hand and with great gentleness shapes it into a horseshoe. Not with hammer and anvil now, but with thought alone. The ember bends willingly, becoming a soft circle, then a crescent, then the familiar arc of iron. He holds it up. Its glow brightens ever so slightly, casting a protective light around him. He imagines placing it above the door of the forge, not for luck alone, but for peace. Oh, for those who enter, may they find warmth. For those who leave, may they carry safety. In this way, the ember's blessing extends outward. You may imagine placing such a symbol above your own doorway, in your own space, whether of wood or stone or dream. A quiet horseshoe, glowing faintly, offering calm, offering steadiness. Its presence is subtle, but its comfort profound. And as it glows above, the meadow grows darker still, stars beginning to shimmer brighter. The ember no longer needs to stay in his hand. It has taken its place, just as it has taken root in your calm, steady breath. The night settles fully now, velvet and deep, dotted with countless stars that shine like fragments of hammered silver spread across the heavens. The blacksmith lifts his gaze, his eyes tracing the slow arc of constellations. He knows some of their names, handed down in whispers by travelers and monks. Others he only marvels at, their mysteries untouched. The ember-born horseshoe glows faintly above the forge door, and though its light is soft, it feels as though it joins the stars themselves, one more point of brightness, close to the earth. You might imagine yourself standing beneath this night sky. The air is cool upon your skin, and the breeze carries the scent of wildflowers and distant smoke. Above you, stars twinkle gently, not demanding your attention, but offering it. They invite you to lift your eyes for a moment, then to close them, and to feel their glow as though it rests upon your very breath. In this space, time slows. The ringing of hammer and anvil has long since faded into memory. The only sound now is the rhythmic bubbling of the forge's coals, soft and steady, almost like the crackle of a hearth. That sound too begins to fade, becoming part of the quiet tapestry of night. The blacksmith sits back, resting against a worn wooden bench. His hands, calloused and strong, finally loosen. He exhales with the deep ease of someone who has poured his effort into the day and now lets the day go. You may do the same. With each breath out, release whatever remains unfinished. Let it drift into the stillness like smoke rising toward the sky. Somewhere in the meadow, a nightingale sings. Its voice is clear, delicate, almost like silver thread woven through the dark. The blacksmith listens, and you may listen as well. imagining its song drifting across the field, over the embers, through the leaves, and into your heart. The ember above the doorway glows a little brighter at the bird's song, as though responding, as though echoing. The horseshoe is no longer just iron. It has become a lantern of serenity, holding not fire but light that soothes. And so, the night deepens. The stars, the ember, the song, they weave together into a lullaby of silence and glow. You may rest here, held within their gentle embrace. The blacksmith closes his eyes, listening not with his ears alone, but with his whole being. He hears the night as if it were breathing, slow and steady, a rhythm that invites his body to match it. The wind moves gently through the meadow grass, creating a soft rustling that rises and falls, like waves upon a distant shore. Imagine yourself now sitting nearby, perhaps upon a smooth stone or the worn steps of the forge. The stone beneath you is cool, grounding, anchoring. Above, the sky is vast, filled with infinite sparks of light. Around you, the hush of night is alive, not empty, but full of presence. Take a slow, calming breath. Feel the air enter easily, cool at first, then warming as it fills your chest. Hold it softly, then let it slip away, slow and unforced, just as the blacksmith lets go of the day's weight. Each exhale is a release. Each inhale is a renewal. The forge's embers continue their quiet glow, now no longer fierce, but tender. They pulse faintly, like a heart at rest. The blacksmith knows these embers will remain until morning, ready to be coaxed into flame again. But for now, their task is different. They illuminate just enough to comfort, not to command. He remembers how, as a child, he once believed the embers were stars that had fallen into the hearth. Each spark was a gift from the heavens, lending its warmth to the earth. Tonight, that memory feels close, and perhaps you can imagine it too. The glowing coals are stars within reach, stars that do not shine cold from afar but breathe warmly right here. And in their glow, shadows move softly. They're not frightening, but gentle patterns upon the walls, flickers that dance like old stories retold. You might trace them with your eyes, following their curves and shapes, letting your mind drift with them, just as one drifts with a dream. The blacksmith leans back further, his head tilting toward the sky. He feels the presence of his forge, his work, his ember-lit horseshoe. But he no longer thinks of tasks or plans. He allows himself to dissolve into the night, into stillness, into quiet. The ember, the night, the stars, hold him now. Hold you too. The night deepens, and with it comes an even softer silence, as though the earth itself is exhaling, preparing to rest. The blacksmith listens to that stillness, and you may listen too. Notice how it has weight, how silence itself can cradle you, how it feels like a blanket spread across the world. Imagine the sound of the forge no longer the sharp clang of hammer on iron, but only the occasional soft crackle of coal settling. Each faint sound arrives slowly, spaced out, gentle, like ripples across a pond. And each ripple seems to carry you further inward, into rest, into quiet peace. The blacksmith recalls the belief that horseshoes carried luck, especially when hung above a doorway. He smiles, thinking of the many thresholds that must glow with their quiet protection, keeping those inside safe from harm. Perhaps you can imagine such a doorway would worn smooth by countless hands, the iron horseshoe above it gleaming faintly. Passing beneath it feels safe, feels welcoming, as though you are stepping into shelter, warmth, and peace. And here, by the forge, the air carries that same sense of safety. The warmth of the embers, the cool of the night, the hush of crickets all combine into a kind of lullaby. Let that lullaby reach you. Let it flow into your chest, into your shoulders, into the soft weight of your arms. Allow yourself to feel supported, as though the very bench, the earth, the night itself are carrying you, holding you gently. The blacksmith breathes slowly, steadily. His chest rises and falls in rhythm with the night. You may let your own breath match his, slow and slower out. With each exhale, you let go of what you do not need. With each inhale, you invite in calm, in rest, in peace. The ember glows softer still, pulsing like the last whisper of a song. It does not need to burn brightly now. Its role is to ease, to comfort, to remind that even fading light has beauty. The blacksmith knows that within its quiet heart lies tomorrow's fire, waiting. For now it rests as you rest. The night holds the blacksmith, the night holds you, both safe, both quiet, both drifting. In the hush of the forge, time itself seems to loosen. The moments stretch like soft fabric, flowing one into the next, unhurried, gentle. The blacksmith lets his tools rest upon the bench, no longer clutched, no longer raised. Their work is done for now, and they gleam faintly in the ember's glow, as though they too exhale after long effort. The anvil, once ringing with rhythm, now sits quietly, its surface cool, its strength still present but unused. Imagine that silence, how something so solid, so powerful, can simply rest, waiting untroubled. You may feel like that too, strong, enduring, yet deeply at peace as you pause, as you allow yourself this quiet space. Outside, the village is gone still. The narrow lanes are empty, shutters closed, lanterns extinguished. Yet through the hush, the gentle song of crickets carries on. A night bird calls once, then fades back into its nest. And all around, the sky deepens into velvet, sprinkled with faint stars. Each one steady, glowing, eternal. Perhaps you imagine lying beneath that sky, breathing slowly, feeling its vastness stretch above you, calming you with its sheer quiet immensity. The blacksmith steps to the doorway of his forge, pauses, leaning lightly against the wooden frame, and looks out into the night. The cool air brushes against his warm skin, a comforting contrast. He takes it in, then lets it go, his breath a cloud dissolving into the darkness. You may do the same, breathing in, then out, softer, slower, allowing your body to mirror the rhythm of the night itself. He thinks of the day that has passed the shaping of iron, the careful work of fire and muscle, the sparks that danced in bright arcs. Each memory drifts across his mind and then fades, one by one like embers settling into ash. In this way, he releases the day. You may release yours too, one thought at a time, soft as sparks dimming, gone as smoke dissolving. The ember within the forge pulses faintly, steady, like a heartbeat. Its glow is enough to soothe, enough to remind that warmth lingers, even in the quiet. The blacksmith closes his eyes for a moment, and in that soft dark, he finds rest beginning to wrap gently around him. The night cradles the forge in its wide embrace. The walls, once echoing with the rhythm of hammer and anvil, now simply listen, silent, patient, protective. Within them, the ember glows, not fiercely, but steadily, like a lantern carried deep inside the heart. It flickers just enough to remind you of warmth, of safety, of continuity. The blacksmith sinks onto a wooden stool, his body heavy with the honesty of labor. Well done. His shoulders drop, his breath deepens. He feels the wood beneath him, strong and simple, holding him easily. You might notice how your own body is held too, by the surface beneath you, by the quiet around you, by the rhythm of your breath that rocks you gently like waves. He watches the ember, and in its glow he sees not only fire, but memory. He recalls the long lineage of smiths before him, hands that also shaped iron, forged tools, and coaxed sparks into flame. Each ember he tends seems linked to theirs, stretching back through time, a quiet chain of fire and care. You, too, might sense such a chain. How every breath you take links you to countless others who have breathed before, a soft reminder that you are never alone, even in silence. The blacksmith lets his eyes wander to a small iron horseshoe resting on a shelf. Its curve catches the faint light, its surface darkened by age. He thinks of the old belief that such a shape, when hung above a doorway, could protect and bless a home. He imagines the soft comfort of walking beneath one, feeling luck and safety settle around him. Perhaps you imagine this too, stepping through such a doorway into a room where warmth gathers, where shadows are gentle, where peace waits patiently. Beyond the forge, the night continues to sing quietly. The wind brushes the trees, their leaves shifting with the faintest rustle. Somewhere in the distance, a stream murmurs as it slips over stones. And above, the stars glow brighter, wheeling slowly in their silent dance. Their light reaches down into the village, into the forge, and perhaps into you as well, filling you with a calm so deep it feels infinite. The ember glows softer, It's light now, like a whisper, and the blacksmith, watching, feels himself drifting gently, as though the night itself has lifted him, carrying him into dreams. The forge seems to breathe with him, in unison, as though the ember and the man share the same slow rhythm. Each inhale deepens the glow, each exhale allows the darkness to settle softly around it. You too may let your breath follow such a rhythm. Inhale, a little glow of warmth inside you. Exhale, a gentle release into quiet stillness. The blacksmith leans back, tilting his head toward the ceiling beams above. They are darkened with smoke, worn with years, steady and protective like the ribs of some great sheltering tree. He feels safe beneath them, just as he feels safe within this quiet space. You might imagine such a roof over yourself, holding you, shielding you, reminding you that here, in this moment, you are protected. In the stillness, the blacksmith's thoughts drift. He recalls the sparks that flew earlier in the evening, dancing like small stars before vanishing into the night air. He recalls the ringing of iron, strong and certain, shaping something useful, something lasting. Now all of that is softened, blurred, faded into memory. What remains is only the quiet, only the ember, only the breath. The night outside is hushed, yet alive in its own way. The crickets continue their soft chorus. The wind shifts slightly, brushing through grass and hedges, carrying with it the faint scent of damp earth cooling under starlight. Distant owl calls once, low and resonant, before falling silent again. Each sound comes gently, unhurried, like notes in a lullaby written by the world itself. The blacksmith closes his eyes, his hands resting loosely in his lap. His palms are rough, calloused, yet in rest they feel almost weightless. He imagines the warmth of the forge seeping into them, soothing away the ache of the day. Perhaps you too can sense a soft warmth flowing into your hands, into your arms, easing you, loosening you, comforting you. The ember pulses faintly, as though it were aware of the stillness it creates. Its glow is not demanding, not fierce, it is simply there, steady, calm, persistent. It is a reminder that even the smallest flame can bring peace, can guide, can comfort. And as the blacksmith sits in this gentle glow, he begins to drift, not toward thought, not toward labor, but toward the vast, open quiet of dreams. The ember glows like a heartbeat in the forge, a quiet rhythm that seems to slow the world itself. The blacksmith listens to it, letting each faint pulse soothe him deeper. It is not loud, not bright, just steady, and steady is enough. Steady is safe. He feels the weight of the day sliding away, as though every spark, every clang, every step has dissolved into the air, leaving behind only stillness. You may feel that as well, letting your own day fall behind you, slipping like sand through open fingers, no longer carried, no longer needed. The blacksmith imagines his forge as a cocoon of quiet. The stone walls keep the night's chill outside, yet allow the gentle whisper of the breeze to you said. The blacksmith imagines his forge as a cocoon of quiet. The stone walls keep the night's chill outside, yet allow the gentle whisper of the breeze to slip in through tiny cracks, carrying with it the scent of grass, of earth, of faraway wood smoke. It mixes with the faint aroma of iron and coal, weaving a tapestry of scents that feels grounding, steady, timeless. He breathes deeply, letting the air fill his lungs, then release in a slow stream. Each breath feels like a gentle tide, washing away the last traces of tension. You may follow along too, letting the air enter smoothly, then letting it leave without effort, like water trickling back to sea. In and out. In and out. Each cycle a soft reminder that you are alive, and that aliveness itself can be restful. The ember dims a little more, its edges blurring into ash. Still, its warmth holds, quiet and loyal. The blacksmith reaches toward it, not to stir or feed it, but simply to rest his palm near, to feel the gentle heat on his skin. What is enough? Even a faint warmth can be soothing, like the memory of a sunlit day carried into the night. In the hush, he remembers the superstition of horseshoes hung above doors. He smiles faintly, thinking of the many thresholds they guard, each one glowing with unseen luck. He imagines travelers stepping beneath them, weary feet crossing into safety, into rest. Perhaps you too can imagine walking beneath such a doorway. A gentle arch above you, a room beyond it filled with peace, a hearth crackling, a bed waiting. And as you step inside, a soft calm wraps itself around you, certain, protective. The blacksmith opens his eyes again, gaze settling on the glowing coal. He sees it now not as fire, but as a star fallen to earth, resting in his forge. A star that does not burn fiercely in the heavens, but instead offers its light here, close, personal, steady. The thought comforts him. And perhaps it comforts you as well, that even a small spark can carry the same quiet wonder as the vast sky above. The night deepens further, silence thickening like a blanket. And the ember hums softly within it, guiding both blacksmith and listener into the embrace of rest. The ember lies at the heart of the forge like a soft jewel glowing against the dark. Its color shifts gently deep red, then faint orange, then back again, as if breathing. The blacksmith finds himself mesmerized by it. His eyes heavy, his thoughts slowing, each one dissolving before it fully forms. You may find your own thoughts doing the same, appearing for a moment, then drifting away like smoke, leaving behind only ease. He feels the hush of the forge seep into him, down through his shoulders, his arms, his chest, into his very bones. The ache of the day loosens, softens, becomes distant. The quiet seems to cradle him, just as it may cradle you now. Imagine the way silence itself can hold you, wrapping you gently as a blanket of stillness. Beyond the doorway, the village sleeps. Roofs glimmer faintly under starlight. Fields stretch out, silvered by moonshine. The river moves in slow, dark ribbons, its voice hushed, steady, eternal. The blacksmith pictures it all, then lets the image blur, as though the world outside is falling away into dream. Inside, the forge holds its own world. The faint crackle of settling coal, the whisper of night air slipping across stone. The occasional sigh of wood shifting, these small sounds become music. Each note placed softly like steps leading deeper into peace. Perhaps you hear them too, in your imagination. A lullaby not sung, but breathed by the forge itself. The blacksmith leans back, his hands resting loosely. No longer tools, simply hands. They feel warm, heavy, safe. He allows them to stay where they are, unmoving, content. You might let your own hands rest as well, finding comfort in their stillness, their release. No effort needed. The ember glows on, patient. Its light is no longer urgent, no longer bright. It is gentle, like the final candle left to burn as the house quiets. It invites calm, invites rest. The blacksmith's eyelids flutter closed once more, and he feels the world narrowing to the glow, the warmth, the quiet. And in that space, time slows, further still. The night holds him. The ember holds him. Peace holds him. And slowly, effortlessly, he drifts deeper, carried on the rhythm of breath and the soft hum of fading fire. The forge has become a sanctuary of stillness, where the only movement is the soft pulse of the ember, glowing and fading in slow, endless rhythm. Each glow is like a whisper, a reminder that warmth lingers even when the fire is nearly gone. Each fade is like an exhale, a release into deeper calm. The blacksmith lets his body follow that rhythm, and you may follow it. 2 inhale gently, glow within. Exhale slowly, release, soften, rest. He tilts his head back against the wooden post behind him, the grain rough yet comforting against his skin. The weight of his body is fully given to the stool, to the earth beneath, to the quiet night that wraps around the forge like a cloak. He no longer feels the need to hold himself upright with effort. He is held effortlessly by his surroundings. You may feel that same ease, allowing the space around you to carry you without strain, without demand. The ember crackles once, a tiny spark escaping, fading before it touches stone. The sound is small, fleeting, like a lullaby's note plucked and then gone. It leaves behind silence, deeper and more profound than before. The blacksmith smiles faintly, recognizing that silence is its own music, soft and restorative. Beyond the forge walls, the wind has gentled to almost nothing. Trees stand still, their branches quiet, their leaves resting. Even the crickets pause between songs, as though the whole world has leaned closer to listen to the hush. In that collective stillness, the stars appear brighter, scattering their ancient light across the sky. The blacksmith imagines each star as a spark. Just like the ember in his forge, one vast fire mirrored in another, the small reflecting the great. His breathing slows further, now so steady that it feels woven into the very rhythm of the night. Each rise of his chest is like the ember's glow. Each fall is like the ember's fade. Together, they create a harmony of calm, unspoken, yet deeply felt. The ember softens again, its light no longer filling the space, but gently touching its corners. The blacksmith, drifting closer to rest, feels that glow within him as well, a quiet ember in his chest, steady, unhurried, comforting. And as the night deepens, that ember both in the forge and within becomes a guide, leading him and you deeper into the quiet embrace of dreams. The forge has entered its deepest quiet, and with it, the blacksmith's thoughts have softened into something tender, almost weightless. He does not dwell on the day behind him, nor on the tasks ahead. Instead, his awareness hovers gently in the present, where there is only the warmth of the ember, the faint scent of smoke, and the cradle of night surrounding him. You too may let go of the weight of your day. Whatever you carried, whatever thoughts tried to hold your attention, they can be set down now, like tools laid neatly on a workbench. You do not need them here, not in this hour of rest. The forge will hold them for you, safe and steady, until you are ready to pick them up again. For now, the only task is stillness. The ember glows again, faint but steady, casting a soft orange light across the blacksmith's hands. He looks at them, lined and strong, yet resting now without need for effort. Those hands which shaped iron, repaired wheels, forged horseshoes, are at last idle. He feels gratitude for them, gratitude for the work they have done, and for the quiet they now deserve. You might too feel gratitude for the body that has carried you, for the breath that moves within you, for the simple fact of being here, safe in this moment. Outside, a single leaf lets go of its branch and drifts down. It does not hurry, does not resist, simply floats, caught by the air, until it rests gently on the ground. The blacksmith sees this in his mind's eye, though he does not open his own. He feels the lesson in it, the ease of letting go, the grace of surrender. The ember's light flickers one last time, then softens, dimmer now, yet still alive. It does not rush, it's fading. It lingers with patience, glowing just enough to remind him that warmth endures. The blacksmith lets his eyes close fully. The forge, the ember, the night, the stars all blur into a single, soothing presence that surrounds him completely. His breath is slow, his body heavy, his spirit calm. And so, guided by the fading ember, he drifts gently, quietly, into the deep rest that waits beyond. Rest comes like a tide, quiet and sure. The blacksmith does not chase it, nor does he resist it. He simply lies within it, as though it were the rhythm of the forge's bellows, rising and falling with steady breath. In this rhythm, all things find their place. The noise of the day dissolves, the world outside recedes, and only the gentle warmth of stillness remains. You too may notice how this tide of rest carries you. There is no need to do anything more, no need to strive or think. The body knows the way to sleep, just as the ember knows how to glow, just as the tide knows how to return to shore. You are carried softly in something older and wiser than thought. The ember breathes faintly in the forge. Its glow is almost imperceptible now, like the last whisper of daylight before twilight deepens into night. The blacksmith knows this glow is enough, does not need to be bright, only present. So, too, your awareness need not be sharp now, can be gentle, blurred at the edges, soft enough to slip between wakefulness and dreams. Far above the forge, stars have taken their full watch. They blink like distant embers scattered across the velvet sky. The blacksmith imagines them as forges of the heavens, each one burning with its own steady purpose, each one a reminder that light endures, even across immeasurable distances. He feels comfort in that thought, though his mind drifts loosely, like smoke rising and vanishing. Within the forge, silence reigns, save for the occasional sigh of cooling stone, the settling of wood, the soft hum of night air slipping through a crack. Each sound is small, but each is soothing, part of the lull that deepens his rest. You may hear your own quiet tooth, the hum of your breath, the softness of fabric beneath you, the faint pulse of your heart. Each sound, like the blacksmith's forge, reminds you that rest is safe, that you are held in calmness, that the night has space enough to cradle every thought and let it go. And so the ember, the forge, the blacksmith, and you, dear listener, drift further into stillness, where nothing is demanded and everything is peace. The blacksmith dreams now, though his dreams are not made of words or stories. They are more like colors, like warmth, like the soft murmur of lives well lived. He sees fields under morning light, horses trotting through mist, children laughing in far-off courtyards. He sees the forge, too, though gentler, its fires calm, its glow steady and slow. Dreams take what is known and soften it, blending memory with imagination until everything is a lull of harmony. As he drifts, the ember seems to glow within him as much as within the forge. It becomes part of his breath, part of his pulse, part of his being. You may notice the same how your own inner ember is steady, how warmth and ease spread from within, reaching gently through every limb, relaxing each muscle, quieting each thought. The night deepens outside. The stars shift slowly across the heavens, though the blacksmith is unaware. The village rests in silence, cottages still, fields breathing with the rhythm of the earth. Even the animals find their calm horses in their stalls, birds tucked into nests, dogs curled close to hearths. The whole world seems wrapped in one vast sigh, one long exhale of rest. There is something timeless in this moment. The blacksmith might be any smith, in any age, in any small village where the forge glowed at dusk. And you, resting here, might be any listener in any time, hearing the same hush of night, feeling the same lull of calm. Sleep has always been like this, welcoming, patient, universal. It waits for you, just as it waited for all who came before. And so the forge fades deeper into quiet. The ember rests low, still warm, but no longer needing to be watched. The blacksmith's body sinks into the mattress of his simple bed, every muscle heavy, every breath light. He has given himself over to rest fully, without resistance. Perhaps you, too, can allow this surrender. There's nothing more to do, nowhere else to be. Like the blacksmith, you can let go into the safety of sleep, into the patience of night, into the calm that stretches endlessly like the starry sky. The ember glows, the stars glimmer, and you drift.